Hello, health professionals looking forward to knowing more about how you can future-proof yourself. It is I, Jo Muirhead, interviewer extraordinaire. 10th interview today. We have 11 speakers. I'm one of them. And you have now had the opportunity of meeting the other 10 speakers who are turning up to present to you their thoughts, their ideas, their wisdom on the future of the Health Professional Symposium. So it has been an incredible 2 weeks of bringing these speakers to you. I trust that you have seen emails and social media posts and registration pages for the registration pages when the registration page didn't work. If you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, have you been living under a rock? No, that's okay. We understand that social media doesn't see all the people all the time. So there will be a link after this chat with Amoret Kaufman today where you can go and sign up for the Future of the Health Professional Symposium, which is starting next Monday if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, next Sunday evening if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So I've got everybody taken care of. Don't know what happens if you're in one of the polar ice caps. That is going to be problematic. But that's why God invented replays. So as I suggested this morning, I have the pleasure of being able to speak with Amoret Kaufman. Oh, she's here. This is fantastic. Yay, Amoret's here. Now, let me bring Amoret on. Come on, Facebook. Help me with the things. Oh, golly. This is a Facebook issue, Amoret, because I know you're sitting there going, oh my God, I don't want to be the person that stops things from happening. It's not giving me a little icon yet to be able to join you, for you to join in the chat. But while we're waiting for Facebook to make that happen, let me tell you a little bit about Amoret. Oh, here she goes. I don't need to. She's going to come anyway. So some to think of Amoret as a bit of a best kept secret. She has an incredible amount of wisdom, of fun and play about her. And the way she has helped me understand some of my own behaviors and things that I can do to actually help myself be more effective, more productive, more empathetic, have been quite astounding. And don't you think we all need to understand how we can be more effective, productive, and empathetic? So the cool thing about this is Amoret likes to refer to herself as the expert in alphabet soup. So, so I am going to let her tell us right now, Amoret, what are you licensed? What can you do? What lived experience do you bring? And how long have you been doing this?
Okay, so first I have to say, it cracks me up that you said that I am an expert at, alphabet soup. Like, one of the things I don't ever call myself as an expert because I'm just an expert in me and that's it. But anyway, nice. I have a thing with the word expert sometimes. But yeah, I do have a bunch of letters. Yeah, I have let's see, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I have my master's of science in counseling psychology and a bachelor of science in psychology. And so that's my Amoret Kaufman, MAMSLMFT, and I practice EMDR. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. I know, right? Which basically just means I don't know. I've been interested in psychology since even before I went to college at UC Santa Barbara for that. My master's degree was a late life decision after a career in corporate America, working for the Coca-Cola company and another big Fortune 500 company, finance firm. And so I got my master's in 2017. And so I've been licensed since, took me a couple of years, 2017. Oh, I got my master's in 2014. I've been licensed since 2017 and opened my own private practice in 2018. So Yeah.
Wow. So what I love about this conversation already is that we've got people watching. Let's just give a shout out to Amy and Debbie
Hey,
and Cindy,
Debbie.
who are chatting and talking to us. This is great. Thank you for being here live with us this morning, my morning, your evenings. So I love that in this symposium, we've got two presenters who are therapists as by choice in like late life or second stage careers. What made you go, yeah, I need to be a therapist now?
Well, that's where the lived experience part comes in. I'm the youngest of three kids, and I was in a family where very clearly now, when I do the family tree, I can see why it was so fraught with, confusion and mental health issues and addiction issues and all of that. The ADHD runs deep. I can see it all in the family tree. It's highly genetic, as we know, and it's oftentimes alcohol and substances are a way that people cope. And depression and anxiety go hand in hand with ADHD. And so trying to figure out what was going on in my world, in my life, in my family system, was constantly a resource for me to be like thinking and trying to figure it out, figure people out. I used to love people watching and observing behavior, and talking with people about like what's going on in their lives, and asking questions that I think, one thing I didn't know was, as an ADHDer, I didn't really have a good filter in high school and young adulthood. So I didn't know not to ask certain questions. But when I asked questions that were just in my head and I didn't filter them out, I got really candid answers. And so being able to talk to people more candidly and more authentically was just like, okay, this is amazing. And now I'm starting to understand the world around me, started going to therapy myself, started to understand myself. And at one point, I just recognized there was a lot going on in the family. I was it felt like a part-time job with me trying to, figure out this diagnosis that someone's coping with. And my brother was in addiction treatment, and, my mom was struggling with anxiety and panic attacks. And I was just constantly online searching for things and reading books and listening to books. And then when the company I was working with talked about having layoffs, I thought, what would I do with myself? And my therapist said, oh, you'd make a great therapist. And I was like, are you kidding? I'm not going to go to grad school in my 40s. You're insane. So look who's laughing, but that's kind of how I fell into it. And now I can't imagine doing anything else. I feel like I've been doing it all my life. Just because of the people curiosity and the search for answers, and there's always something new to learn.
Yeah, wow. And I love the fact that that the way you bring your lived experience into your whole self, and it's not that you're very careful and considered in the way that you share information with clients. We've had that discussion before today, but helping people understand, like the way you even approached me was like, I'm really glad you gave me that boundary, Joe, because now it makes sense. Didn't make sense until then, but now it makes sense. I'm like, oh, Amoret needs really hard and fast rules. That helps her. So,
and I need to know why. Why are you asking me for this thing? Because if I don't see the big picture, it's hard for me to integrate it. It's not that I go, well, whatever you need is unimportant, but I need to see the bigger picture and where all the puzzle pieces are, before I can like really understand how I'm contributing or what my part is supposed to be. So that's thank you for accepting that when I asked, like, sorry, I didn't know.
Oh, no, I'm always, but so similarly to you, it's like curiosity is a big part of how I've chosen to turn up in this world is, what am I learning here? What can I do differently to help this next person or a group of people? And that's why I really wanted you to be a part of this symposium, because you think differently. Your approach to problem solving is different. I love the way that you can turn up to some of our sessions now with your little whiteboard going, is this what you mean? And you draw a picture for us and we're like, yeah, that's it. Or move this to there. And it's like everybody else is so ingrained in their talk. But, it's like, I need visual cues. Is it like squeezing this sponge? And I think there's so much that we as health professionals can learn about, learn from people like yourself who are willing to talk about this stuff on how you approach your work. Because I actually think being a non-neurodivergent person, I'm not even sure. Neurotypical, is that what I'm supposed? Is that the label I give myself? But I feel like I have so much to learn, because I'm now watching people who are neurodiverse do things and problem solve and create things, and I'm like, how did you even know to think about it like that? Like, it's just, so I think this is a really important conversation. Yes, from the the minority, making sure people are included point of view, but also we all contribute to the body of knowledge. You don't have to be a middle-aged white woman who's been doing this work for 30 years to have a contribution, right?
Yeah. And it's funny, because when you were saying, I appreciate the way that you think differently or problem solve differently, the word differently wasn't really present for most of my life. It was weird, right? Like, why does she say weird things? Like, what is this idea that she has, and so often I think I worked so hard as a kid and as an adult, a teenager and adult, to do the conventional things and to fit in and to try to pretend I was normal, right? And I didn't know what the not normal was. And now I know I am normal. We do need neurodiverse thinkers. We do need neurodivergent people, because biodiversity in general, we have to have different kinds of species. We have to have just a whole variety pack of people who think differently and solve problems. If we all thought the same, we'd be in big trouble. So I have more appreciation for it now that I'm older. But back then it was just weird, or like off base or whatever. And it feels good to know what that's about. I wasn't even diagnosed until I was in my late 40s when my son got a diagnosis, and that's how so many people I know in their 40s, 50s, 60s are being diagnosed. And not that it's all about the diagnosis, but just the validation of like, this thing isn't me coming from a wacky family or whatever. It's just kind of like, okay, more information, more puzzle pieces.
And you have a busy private practice, which is out now. I just want to do a bit of a gloat on your behalf right now. Amoret has a waiting list. She's always had a waiting list. There aren't enough Amorets to go around in the world. She does not have a website.
I have a landing page now. I've been humbled into like, get a landing page, but
So I think it's a really powerful appreciation that people seek you out, that you have gone to the places where you can serve. Like, you've gone to schools and you've made friends with principals of schools, and you've gone, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Not, this is what I can offer you, but how can I help? And I think that is such an important, curious question. How has that turned up for you? Like, what other things have you done where it's actually been, oh, wow, I can help this way?
Yeah, I think one of the ways I started to realize it's helpful is how I am a person in a room full of people talking about stuff. That I think some of the other live symposium participants have talked about this idea of feeling that pressure to know everything and to be perfect. And I had to stop kind of hiding behind that and think to myself, what would be more helpful to people who need to hear these messages, right? To need to hear that ADHD definitely, can be a gift as well as a curse, right? What do people need to know about it? That it's not what you think it is. And most people think, oh, you're right, okay, ADHD. So you're like 7-year-old boy crawling on the couch, can't sit down, doesn't listen in class, or a girl that's dreamy and looks out the window. Like, those old stereotypes still stick around, but people aren't hearing what it really is. And so the way I figured out that I could help was just to be more authentic and more real, and to just allow myself to be seen, because it was exhausting for me to try and come off as, like, there was this sense of a responsibility of, I need to be a poster child for the highly functioning ADHDer, right? And I need to tell people, look, I got a master's degree, even though it was a Herculean effort and I had to do tons of late nights, stuff, because my house was busy during the day. But in order to focus, I had to be doing it late at night. Like, I did all the ADHD stuff, but I felt this need to advocate for the group, and trying to show, like, look, You can do it. You can fit into the neurotypical world and you can make it. I started to realize that's not making it. That's not making it for me. That's now I'm trying to fit in instead of belonging. Fitting in and belonging are different. And so that's where.
Wow. That's, sorry, I've just had one of those moments where it's like, and that's the mic drop, because Joe got the goosebumps. It's like, I'm goose pimply now. That's powerful.
And I think that's a Brene Brown. I gotta give her this.
Okay.
But it really resonated, right? Of just that idea of. And I remember I went to a kindergarten, not a kindergarten. It was the Howdy Day coffee with the principal at the elementary school that my kids go to, and this was probably 4 years ago. And I asked the principal. I just knew him. I was like, "Hey, do you want me to say anything about like back to school stuff or like helping parents quell the anxiety? I'm seeing a lot of anxious parents in this room." And he's like, "Oh, that'd be great because my phone's going to ring off the hook this afternoon with this person needs their teacher change and this person doesn't have whatever." So I just got up and said, "Hey, I'm just a mom. I've been here for a while. I'm on the PTA. Sign up for the PTA." And just kind of gave some tips. Like, when your kids come home today, don't say, "Did you have a great day?" Because if they didn't, then they're going to feel like they disappointed you. Just say like, "Hey, how was your day?" And they may dissolve into tears, and that's okay. Don't jump in and fix it. They may say, "My teacher doesn't like me." Don't email Brooke, Dr. Reynolds. They may say, all these things. Just be with them in those feelings, right? You're going to be the big grown-up that can be the container to hold them. And I stumbled on a couple of words and I said something else that was wrong. And I was like, okay, by the way, I'm just going to model imperfection for you. So that thing I just said, that's actually not right. Let me try that again.
Yeah.
And through sort of modeling imperfection was the way that I felt like I could help more, and just being real, just being myself. I don't have my degrees up in my office because I don't know. I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to be like, "Look at me, I have degrees." But I don't mind when other people do it. I think it's great.
I think this is such a great conversation, and one of the things I'm looking forward to in the symposium is that you and I are actually going to extend this interview. So I've asked you not to do a presentation. It's just going to be more of this type of Q&A. So the people who turn up live can actually participate and get their questions answered as well. So if you want to know more about what it's like to live as a person who is neurodiverse, who also works with people who are neurodiverse, and what is it that we can be doing to, number one, hack our typical diversity or typical brains so that we can actually get some of these really cool things happening for us, selfish Joe over here, but also how we can build our businesses and build our worlds that are inclusive without it being a value in our statement, like in our value statement. It just happens. Like, it's not even something we have to think about. So Amoret, I'm going to ask you a couple of fun questions now, if that's okay with you.
All right, cool. I love fun questions.
Okay. What was your first ever paid job?
Delivering the Glendale News Press in the afternoons after school when I was in 3rd grade. My best friend and I, they don't have the afternoon paper anymore, obviously.
Yep.
But our manager guy from the newspaper would come drop off a load, and we would spend about 10 minutes folding the papers and putting rubber bands on them. And then we would take the red wagon, sometimes with her little sister in it, sometimes not. And we would walk around like a 10-block radius and deliver the afternoon paper.
Wow.
Yeah. And then on Saturdays was collection day, where the guy would tell us, "Hey, these people haven't paid for their papers." So, we would knock on their door and say, "Hi, we're here to collect for the news press, and here's the amount." And they would pay us cash, and we would put it in an envelope. And I mean, I was thinking about this recently and thinking, like, we would never do this nowadays.
No.
This is hello 70s. Like, yeah.
I'm thinking the same thing. There's a part of me going, we let little people do that. We let little people go out on a 10-block radius with a friend, number one. Number two, they gave you cash. And then, of course, there's the whole load of people watching going, "What's a newspaper?"
Right. Home delivery. And you think of it as a Grubhub for paper printed things.
Yes, they nice, nicely done. Very cool. Okay, so would you describe yourself as a bit of a collector? And if you are a collector, what types of things do you like to collect?
I collect information and
Yeah.
and fidgets. I'm sitting here in case I got nervous. I have this fidget and I have my other one, but I realize it's distracting for other people. So I've been trying to do it down here. So I have tons and tons of things to keep my hands busy and things to keep my brain busy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Information and fidgets, and the two things that go hand in hand for you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
while you're consuming information, are you using your fidgets?
Yeah, sometimes the thing about the ADHD brain, and I think this is true with other brains as well, but really specifically in my lived experience, I can speak to this, and I've heard other clients talk about it, is there's two tracks. You have sort of the working track and then the fun track. And that if you don't have both tracks engaged in doing something, then one of them will wander off. And so, a lot of kids talk to me about like, now that we're back in person at school, I'm having a harder time focusing because I used to be on Zoom and have like old episodes of Friends playing in the background or have YouTube in my ears while the teacher was talking.
Right.
And so, for me, I am usually doing two things at once. So I've read all these books, but most likely in audio format because I'm a far better listener. I can't sit still. I can't sit down and read a book. So I'll be folding laundry or doing dishes or whatever. And sometimes I'll use the fidgets, but more often I'm playing solitaire on my phone as I'm listening and integrating. And sometimes I'll pop over to I use OneNote as my own notebook for how to do Amoret, right? Like over the years, I've had to learn hacks and adaptations and be creative about how the world works and how I can complement it, right? And not have to try and be conventional. So when I get a little nugget, I'll go over to OneNote and I'll find the section that I have. It's like a little handbook of myself, and I'll add that to it. And so I'm still listening, but I'll write down the quote and I'll, kind of think about it for a minute and I'll say what that means to me. And sometimes I'll tag it in procrastination or, grief work or, whatever it might be, trauma mixed with relational communications, whatever it is. And it's just, I make my own notes for myself. So yeah. I'm always doing multiple things.
That's fantastic. So I'm actually I'm going to leave it there because I want people to want more. So I think you've got some really great feedback in the comments. People are like, wow, what a great idea. And I love that. And no idea. And oh my gosh, is that why so-and-so is doing this? So this conversation is going to be, we'll have 45 minutes with Amoret. So look at what you got in 20 minutes this morning. Imagine what you can get in 45 and have access to Amoret to ask some questions. So if you haven't yet registered for the symposium, please go do that. There'll be a link in the comments here below, or you just click on my face, on my photo, go to my profile. You'll see plenty of places that you can register for it now. Amoret, thank you so much for coming and doing this live with me this morning.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to, contribute to this thing of how do we take care of ourselves as healthcare professionals? Because, we all have stuff and I love what you're doing. I'm so glad this whole group is getting together. It's really important.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Amoret. See you all tomorrow when I'm going to come on live by myself and answer some questions or your questions about what is this symposium and how does it work? So I'll see you tomorrow.